A mother's call for change after the death of her son.
I mean, it's been difficult. You lost a son and then you by someone.
The improvements she says are needed right now on a busy Nashville road.
A no bully zone. The plan in place across mid-state school districts to crack down on bad behavior.
And getting to work faster, but there's a catch. What you need to know about choice lanes and the changing costs. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
It's one of the higher crash corridors in the city.
New tonight, more than 900 calls about vehicle crashes in 2 years. The Metro Police Department says that is a reality along Gallatin Pike.
And that includes the recent deadly hit-and-run crash involving a Tennessee State University football player. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is live on Gallatin Road in East Nashville tonight with the calls of change that are getting louder.
This district's councilwoman tells me she wants to make sure what happened to Chazon Page doesn't happen ever again. And she tells me it all starts with fixing this road right here behind me.
When she informed me of the improvements to Gallatin Road, I was delighted.
LaWanda Page is happy something is being done to try and prevent another deadly crash on Gallatin Pike. Metro Police say her son, Chazon Page, lost his life in a tragic hit and run here on Gallatin Pike and Marion Avenue in April.
I mean, it's been difficult. You lost a son and then you by someone.
Metro Council member Emily Benedict has been an advocate for Page's son.
That section of Gallatin Pike is really wide.
She hopes to get funding from Nashville's Department of Transportation, the state, and the Nashville mayor's office to repave this road, lower the speed limit, and make the roads more narrow.
When you narrow the lanes, it does a psychological thing to drivers. It makes them feel like they have less room to drive fast. So they slow down psychologically, which then leads them, of course, to slowing down their car.
Gallatin Pike is a hot spot for deadly crashes over the years, including one in July about 4 minutes from where Page lost his life. Page's mom says enough is enough and Gallatin Pike needs to be improved.
What can you say about why this needs to happen?
Well, it needs to happen, to reduce the speeding, not just on Gallatin Road, but on many of the roads throughout Nashville.
We are waiting to find out if the funding for improvements on this road can become a reality. Reporting live here in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police make an arrest in a 4-year-old murder case. Officers spotted the suspect, Tyrone Walker, riding in an SUV last night. They tracked him with a police helicopter and used spike strips on the ground to stop the car he was in. Then he took off and ran. Police followed and chased him and brought him into custody. They've been looking for Walker since last year when he was indicted for the 2021 murder of Cecil Holmes, Jr.
Now, in crisis in the classroom, Wilson County Schools getting mixed data on bullying in their district. So the director of schools is taking it as an opportunity to create more awareness on the bullying crisis that we're seeing here and nationwide. He hopes to keep the topic top of mind as students head back to class. School board directors in Metro Nashville, Williamson County, and now Wilson County are prioritizing the importance of ending bullying within their schools. At a school board meeting, Wilson County Schools Director Jeff Luttrell says the key to stopping bullies begins with identifying them.
I want these things reported. I want them dealt with. I want them called exactly what they are. And when a kid gets bullied, it should be called bullying, and it should be dealt with appropriately. And I think we've done that, but you do have an increased number here a little bit. And I think it's a message to all of us that we all got work to do.
The health services supervisor presented the board with a data-filled report examining more than 3 million student school days. According to the numbers, cyberbullying cases were down slightly last school year, with 14 specific cases referenced. However, the trend is noticeably shifting. While elements of cyberbullying are down, gender-based bullying is up.
And this stuff matters. and how we talk with each other, about each other, how we communicate with each other. And there's nothing worse than being in a school and seeing a student bullied to the point that they don't want to come to school, or worse yet.
Chuck Whitlock, the county's health services supervisor, indicates recent bullying cases present with multiple avenues of bullying, hazing, harassment, intimidation, and cyberbullying.
You look at research and you look at what's happening all over the country. The traditional bullying is the most common. Sometimes you'll have traditional bullying that has an electronic component to it. So you may have one case that may have an electronic component to it, may have a gender-based component to it. So we got to put a mark in each of those categories when we're collecting that data.
The director of schools is calling on parents and the community to lead the way by example.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and finding solutions. If you have a story that you think we should cover, send us an email to news@fox17.com. You can also call our tip line. The number's on your screen, 615-266-4149.
In Operation Crime and Justice, 2 men are now behind bars in Nashville in connection with a recent shooting on the Vanderbilt University campus. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan tonight breaking down safety concerns as students return to campus at Vanderbilt next week.
That shooting happened right here at the Sutherland House dorms when contractors working began arguing, and police say that that's when shots broke out, injuring at least one person. Now, we do know that Vanderbilt police as well as Metro police responded to the scene here, and 2 men were taken into custody, but the dorm was empty at the time. Now, Vanderbilt told Fox 17 in an email prior to the shooting that they are deeply committed to ensuring safety to community members, saying that in part, quote, whenever it is needed, whether there are indications of significant increase in safety risks or out of an abundance of caution, they deploy additional officers on patrol and enhance coverage on campus. As students head back to school, they do want to urge them to download what they're calling their Vanderbilt Vandy Safe app, where you can contact VUPD as well as use your phone's location to signal an emergency, or even cooler, a virtual walk home. Pretty neat, but all of this to ensure safety as these students head back August 21st. In Nashville, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In education news, the Tanger Outlet Mall is offering grants to help area schools that are strapped for cash. Now, this money is earmarked specifically for programs that directly benefit students. Now, that can include literacy programs, STEM programs, even clothing drives. Tanger, which has that new outlet mall in Antioch, is accepting applications all the way through October the 18th.
Continuing Operation Crime and Justice, special victims detectives asking for your help finding a man that they say exposed himself to a woman last week. Officers say he targeted a woman walking her dog on 25th Avenue South before running into Centennial Park. Witnesses say that he has a tattoo on his left forearm. And keeping with Operation Crime and Justice, the search is on for a man who police say robbed the Speedy Cafe in Clarksville. Take a good look at the security photos here on your screen. This is from Providence Boulevard Business. The clerk says that on Thursday, this guy came in wearing sunglasses and then demanded cash. Officers say that he has a tattoo just above his left and right wrist.
All right, let's talk about the weather. Guys, I've never been to San Diego, but I believe, or in my mind, the weather today is what it feels like in San Diego.
Yeah, nice and warm, maybe not quite as humid. That would be the only thing.
Nice breeze. I just
I'm sure Ron
imagined it was
Burgundy would
coming
have
off the
something to
ocean.
say about that.
Yes, that's true. That is true. Yeah, we're looking good. It was nice. We did have a bit of a breeze this afternoon, but the humidity is starting to creep back into the forecast, I'm afraid, as we head towards the middle to late part of the week here. Things quiet for tonight. We will see a few clouds around, and that is mainly due to a little bit of this shower activity that we're seeing out towards the Boot Heel of Missouri, and that's pushing into portions of West Tennessee. But notice as it inches closer to Tennessee, it continues to sort of dissipate. So we will be mainly dry for the evening hours. 67 our temperature for tonight. We're at 65 in Murfreesboro, Lebanon right around 64 degrees with Clarksville at 66. I do see some better chances for rain later in the week. We will detail that for you, and we'll have the latest on Tropical Storm Ernesto. That's all coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. Just ahead, a win.
New tonight, a Tennessee baby is dead after police say that her father left her in a hot car. It happened in Collegedale near Chattanooga. Police say Timothy Blackdeer forgot to drop that little girl off at the babysitter's and then drove to work instead. Tonight, he's charged with reckless homicide and aggravated child abuse and neglect.
Tonight, fatal drug overdoses here in Nashville are down for the first time in 5 years. Big news. City leaders say the numbers are still high, but they feel like they're making progress. Metro Fire and EMS have responded to nearly 2,300 suspected overdose cases since the first of the year, which is on pace with 2019. One of the reasons city leaders believe fewer people are dying is because of the availability of Narcan, the drug that reverses the effects of opioids.
Our Metro Public Health Department at the Lentz Public Health Center has Narcan kits available. Our Office of Nightlife has actually also been focused on availability of Narcan within the entertainment district.
National Mayor Freddie O'Connell says overdose deaths are down 21% compared to this time in 2023.
In your health news, studies show that nearly 3/4 of U.S. adults are overweight or obese. And while genetics can play a role, so can what we eat and drink. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin explains why it's important to read food labels closely and how the 520 rule can help.
The journey to health isn't always easy, even if you're eating the right things. You may still struggle with weight, consuming something you may not even realize, which is why it's critical to pay close attention to food labels, says Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
First things first, check the number of servings in the package. This is really important. Sometimes you think the calorie count is for the whole package, but in fact, it just represents one serving. A lot of people get tripped up by this.
Gupta says the number of calories and nutrients needed daily are different for everyone and varies based on things like age, size, and overall health. For example, if you have high blood pressure, you'll need to consume less sodium than others.
Now, look at the daily value of nutrients, the DV. It's based on an average 2,000 calorie diet, and it can help serve as a guideline for how many nutrients you should be getting. A good trick to help you gauge whether the food contains enough of a nutrient is to use the 520 rule. If the DV percent is 5% or less, that means it's relatively low in the nutrient, obviously. 20% or more, fairly high.
Also, make sure to look at the ingredient list. Gupta says the first few listed make up the bulk of the food. So make sure there is not too much fat, sugar, or salt.
Finally, watch out for words you can't pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't eat it.
I'm Amanda Chin for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
The CDC says nutritional labels are based on dietary recommendations regulated by the FDA. They're required on all packaged food made in the U.S. and imported from other countries.
Weather-wise, this time of year, anytime it's below 90 and there's a gentle breeze, I'm good.
Yeah, it really is, especially given the stretch of heat that we had recently. And now in another streak at the moment, it's been 11 days since we've had a drop of rain at the airport, which is actually the longest streak for 2024 here at BNA. So starting to get to that point again where we really could use the rain, and I don't see shower chances that great until we head into Thursday night and Friday. I was just actually looking at some of the latest model updates coming in regarding Thursday night and into Friday. Things stay quiet as we head into Wednesday, warm Wednesday with temperatures hovering right around 90 degrees. We are heating things up as we head towards Thursday with highs approaching the mid-90s. And again, talking about that rain chance outside of a spot shower for tomorrow, I think our better rain chance will come in on Thursday night, very late and into Friday. Most of that coming in for Friday morning. And then in the afternoon, we'll continue to see a couple showers and storms around. Same goes for Saturday, isolated thunderstorms, and then we begin to see the rain chances disappear going into Sunday. So Wednesday, temperature around 81 degrees under a mainly sunny to partly cloudy sky. We'll stay in those upper 80s as we head into the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Again, a mix of clouds and sunshine will be the story for us, along with the humid air. So we'll see a little bit more humidity in store for us for Wednesday. We get into Thursday and Friday, and we're looking at heat index values right around 100, if not just above that, for, again, the end of the work week. So we take a look at future track overnight. Most of the cloud cover that we will find will stay to our west, maybe a spot shower toward the Tennessee River. Other than that, we stay quiet. As we head into Wednesday afternoon, same thing, partly cloudy skies. Most of us stay dry during the day. And then we get into Wednesday night, early Thursday, starting the day dry. But as we get into the afternoon hours, we will see the chance for showers and storms building Thursday night into Friday. High temperatures area-wide look to be hovering in those upper 80s to around 90 degrees here in Nashville. Dickson sitting at 89, with Columbia, Lewisburg, and Tullahoma all in the mid 80s. Cookeville maybe a tad cooler, around 84. Everyone looking at partly cloudy skies. I think we may end up with mainly sunny skies out towards McMinnville, Clarksville, Hopkinsville, so basically east of I-65, and then a little bit more cloud cover to the west. Overnight tonight here in town, not looking too bad. We'll be in those mid to upper 60s with a few clouds around, and closer to the Tennessee River will be where we have that potential for a stray shower. We get into tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. Highs will top off right around 90 degrees. Can't rule out a spot storm west. Otherwise, we are looking good. We'll talk more about our rain chance possible as we head towards Thursday night again and into Friday. That looks to be our best chance overall. But until then, again, looking to stay mainly dry. We did hit 90 degrees today, by the way, which is right around average for this time of year. And speaking of, it's our weather trivia question for tonight.
All right.
So Scott and Megan, what is the average number of 90-degree plus days in Nashville per year?
Is the answer on teleprompter? No?
We're
hiding it from us?
We're going to find the answer a little later in the show.
They are really hiding it.
I'm going to say 49.
So yeah, you've got three answers here,
A, B, and
37,
C.
49, or 55.
Do I get a commercial break to think about it?
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll have
Because you're not
giving
giving the answer yet, right?
Yes. We'll
okay,
do the
I
answer
promise I won't Google it.
Yes, we'll do the answer a little bit later. I also put the question on my Twitter account, my Twitter poll. So check it out if
I'm a slow test
you
taker.
Wanna, yeah.
I'm going to say Katie loves playing the teacher. Just say it.
Yeah.
We'll find the answer a little bit later. All right, a threat to safety at some Tennessee schools. What kept SROs from walking out?
And it's State Fair time in Tennessee. Some cool pictures of what you have to look forward to and a roadmap of events at the fair this year, courtesy of Fox 17.
A new study shows it may take
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a pay raise helps to end a threatened walkout by school resource officers over in Shelby County in West Tennessee. SROs plan to walk out this week until the city of Memphis agreed to increase their pay. Officers will now be paid more than $52,000 a year, with $1 per hour increasing annually up to 5 years. The new sergeants over there in Memphis will get almost $71,000 a year. That raise is also retroactive back to July the 1st.
Well, looking ahead to this Thursday when the Wilson County, Tennessee State Fair kicks off, here is a view of the fair that you rarely get to see. Jared Ambrose shooting these sky-high photos from last year's fair and sent them to Fox 17 News, and it just really gives you that aerial perspective showing you how massive the space is, and you need a lot of space, of course, to host all of these rides and the animals and the food and the exhibits. So a good time for all out there. And Fox 17 will help you get ready to enjoy all of that fair fun. Just go to fox17.com and search Wilson County, Tennessee State Fair, and we'll have information, everything you need to know about tickets, parking, and all the entertainment lineup. You can also submit your fair pictures through the Chime In section. Katie's going to have a look at the forecast here for the fair in just a minute.
Also ahead, the cost of progress, the lowdown on the price to use choice lanes on Interstate 20. In the economy, Fox 17 News giving you a first look at the Choice Lanes project set to add 26 miles of paid lanes between, here and the borough along Interstate 24.
Well, the idea is to provide congestion relief between Nashville and Murfreesboro, but not everyone is on board. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker explains why not.
Of course, no one likes that congestion like what you're seeing right behind me. It's frustrating and it's tiring, with many now looking for some relief. And while the state feels the choice lanes will add that relief, others have some reservations on the plan, specifically related to money. This model, subject to change, will soon be brought to you for input. You'll see the existing travel lanes in gray and those new choice lanes in purple. This is where drivers can choose to jump in and avoid the heavy traffic.
It would be nice to not have to wait in traffic.
But keep in mind that comes with a price tag. The fare would change during times of peak congestion, and that's one concern for Tennessee driver Robert Ware.
If you leave it to a private company and you allow them to set rates, then you're asking for gouging, potentially, greed.
So we took these concerns to the state. How will that be controlled?
We dictate a minimum speed that must be maintained in the choice lanes. And so let's say that we have a 45 mile per hour minimum speed in the contract. They must raise prices such that that speed is maintained in those lanes.
While Brian Ledford with TDOT says the contract terms are still being developed, the pricing structure will need to balance maintaining traffic flow and recovering the private partner's investment.
These lanes only work if they remain free-flowing. So that is how that dynamic pricing and that minimum speed ensures that they work.
Rebecca Hammonds with TDOT says in the state's current funding structure and budget, providing this type of relief would not be possible.
We wouldn't be able to deliver in this level of relief to folks using this corridor without bringing in some kind of private partner.
The private sector partner is bringing their debt, their equity to build this project.
Ledford says the first phase of this will be more than $2 billion. There will be more than one design concept at these public meetings. Keep in mind that public comment period opens up tomorrow through September 19th. This is where many Tennesseans are encouraged to come out and give your opinions or your concerns and fears. We have more on these public meetings on our website, fox17.com. For now, reporting in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your code red station.
And we want to know what you think. Would you use TDOT's choice lanes once they become available? 275 people voting on this issue tonight. 65.5% say no, they're going to pass. 34.5% say, yeah, I'll use those choice lanes. This poll is still live right now, so there's time to cast your vote. You can scan the QR code there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. You can also find us by our handle, which is @FoxNashville. And we'll show you updated poll results here again tonight on Fox 17 News at 10.
Staying with the economy tonight, tech CEO Elon Musk has a plan to reduce government spending. He talked about it with former President Trump last night on X. Fox 17 News' Matt Galka has more on that plan. And you can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear on your screen during our story.
Elon Musk pitched himself to Donald Trump as a guy who could help the government cut costs if Trump wins a second term.
I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
And the former president was happy to entertain the idea.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do.
The pair didn't get specific on what cuts would be made, only that there needed to be some under their proposed Government Efficiency Commission. The national debt eclipsed $35 trillion for the first time ever in late July. The government spends the most on Social Security at more than $1.2 trillion. Next up isn't a service at all. It's actually $763 billion in interest payments, outpacing health care, Medicare, and defense spending.
We can't ignore the debt anymore. I don't worry so much about trillions. Those are scary numbers. What I worry about is that our debt is approaching a record share of the economy.
Finding where to make the cuts will be up to lawmakers as they try to tackle a problem that's not going to magically go away. The Congressional Budget Office projects debt will balloon to more than $56 trillion in the next 10 years.
You can't really afford to pick and choose. The truth is, all parts of the budget need to be on the table. and the tax code does.
Trump's vague comments were the closest thing to a debt plan either party has released so far. There was nothing in the Republican Party's platform put out ahead of their convention last month, and Vice President Kamala Harris has yet to reveal her economic plan. In Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
During that story, we had a QR code up linking you to a poll asking if you think federal government spending is out of control. You see the results. Nearly 900 people weighing in, and almost all of them, just a hair less than 96% say yes. Our thanks tonight for all who voted.
Now to crisis in the classroom, an update on a family in Clarksville not happy with how the school was caring for their son. Jaden Doherty is deaf and has behavioral issues, and at one point the Montgomery County school system agreed to send him to a school in Pennsylvania that they said could better care for him. But the district changed its mind, saying Jaden was improving. A whistleblower tells Fox 17 News that's simply not true. The district would have had to pay around $260,000 to send Jaden to that Pennsylvania school.
It's extremely frustrating because I expected as educators to be honest about the child's education.
Well, Wednesday on Fox 17 News at 9, find out how much the district pays for out-of-state services for students and why the state will not step in.
Been watching a few showers this evening just to our west and a little bit to our north here, but a lot of that is breaking apart before it even gets to Tennessee. So as we go through the overnight, maybe a spot shower in our western counties at best, but really not too concerned for any rain that we'll see overnight. In fact, a lot of the cloud cover even dissipating as well. So we go through the overnight with a partly cloudy sky, another mild evening with those temperatures hovering in the 60s. Let's take a look here. This is for Thursday night, the Wilson County Tennessee State Fair. Temperatures for the evening hours will be in the mid 80s here. This is going to be the time frame, unfortunately, where I think we'll start to see chances for rain go up. We could easily miss on some of these showers early on, especially since storms will be arriving. Hopefully they'll be a little delayed. But the chance will at least be there as we head deeper into the night on Thursday and then into Friday as far as the rain chances are concerned. So we take you through the next few days. This is through noon on Wednesday. We're mainly dry through the afternoon Wednesday all the way through Thursday morning. So we'll start this at 7 a.m. Thursday. Notice we have this warm front that'll be nearby. It will spark a few showers as we head into the evening hours, you can see here. But again, not expecting widespread rain for Thursday night. Better chances will arrive as we head through Friday morning and then Friday afternoon as this front approaches. The front will push through Friday night into Saturday, and that will offer us our best chance for rain for the week. The good news is I don't expect widespread severe weather. As always, especially when we have a front coming through, it's always possible that we could have one or two stray strong thunderstorms with wind as the primary threat. But again, organized severe weather does not look to be the case for us as we head through Friday evening. We'll talk more about the tropics, what's going on with Ernesto, where it's headed in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Thank you, Katie. Also had an odd
Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis launching a new line of cologne, and it has some fans chuckling.
They try to define you.
All right, sultry, huh? You're looking at the ad that's posted on the Hellman's X page touting the new cologne. It's called No. 8 Parfum de Mayonnaise. It includes shots of Will Levis on the ground eating out of a jar of Hellman's.
Oh my gosh, this
Yum,
looks like an
right?
SNL skit. Well, the idea came about in reaction to a viral video 2 years ago that showed him drinking coffee after pouring mayonnaise in it. Hellman says the $8 a bottle cologne is actually a real deal, a real thing. Yeah, they sold out today and promised to restock by tomorrow morning.
I kind of thought it was a joke until you said, no, it's for real, and they sold out. But I mean, $8 if you're buying cologne, if it smells like anything, $8 is a bargain.
I mean, I don't understand the motivation there. Just because Will Levis did it?
But that commercial was kind of, you know.
Sounds like a white elephant gift.
I mean, they're making mayonnaise cool again. Yeah, exactly right.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's for real,
I do like
though.
mayonnaise. Sounds very French.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to Will Levis. Congrats to him. Well, Fox 17 right now giving you a chance to win tickets for the Music City Brewers Festival. We know that's for real. It's August the 24th downtown at the Walk of Fame park. Proceeds will support the Nashville Humane Association, so doing some good for the neighborhood. Just scan the QR code there on the left-hand side of your screen, or you can go to fox17.com/contest to enter for your chance to win and learn all about the rules. You do have to be 21 years or older, so Megan is out on this one. Messages and daily rates may apply. For complete contest details, again, go to fox17.com/contests.
Coming up, more on Ernesto, where the storm is now and where it's headed.
And not giving up, how the family of a missing...
Low at 0% on select items. And Harris Trading Company gladly welcomes trade-ins. Harris Trading Company in Lebanon, family owned and operated for over 72 years.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Mid-10 Furniture.
It's been nearly 6 months now since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville. As the family of the boy with autism is still searching for answers, his father is inviting a community out to a motorcycle ride in Sebastian's honor this Saturday, August 24th. Well, Seth Rogers says that since Sebastian loves animals, all the proceeds of the ride will benefit Michaela's Mutt Motel Rescue in Clarksville. Seth Rogers says bikers along with Jeeps and 4x4s are all invited, as well as any supporters, to join at 2 p.m. at the Fallen Brewery in Clarksville. And for a $25 donation, you'll get a t-shirt, bracelet, and a meal. Seth Rogers says along with honoring Sebastian's love for animals, the event is to keep him relevant and in the public eye.
It's to bring more awareness, because there's still people that don't know my son is missing.
A prayer vigil will follow at 5 p.m. outside the brewery. Jacob's Audible, another organization helping kids with special needs, is also helping to sponsor the event. Sebastian's father says that he continues to field tips and organize private searches for his son on his own.
Tonight, Elon Musk and the European Union clash again over efforts to regulate his social media platform X. Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins now with more on the tensions from Washington.
More than 1 million people tuned in Monday to Donald Trump's conversation with Elon Musk on X.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory.
The moment marked Trump's return to the social media platform that permanently banned him in 2021 after the events of January 6th due to risk of further incitement of violence. Elon Musk reversing the ban since taking over. Before Monday's interview, the European Union sending a warning to Musk, reminding him of their law against promoting harmful content. The EU commissioner writing, "With great audience comes greater responsibility." Aaron Turr with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression points out the dangers of government attempts to regulate speech on international platforms.
You can wind up in a situation where the speech that you find on platforms like X and Facebook is only what's allowed there is only what's going to be allowed in the most authoritarian country with the least protective with the lowest protections for speech.
The EU letter also references the recent riots in the UK, fueled by disinformation online, claiming an illegal migrant fatally stabbed 3 children. The suspect was actually a teen born in Wales. Musk under heavy criticism for posts he made appearing to stoke that unrest. British authorities threatening extradition and jail time, even though Musk is an American citizen, writing the posts from the U.S. There's a slim chance British authorities will go after anyone outside the UK, but within the country, arrests have been made, prompting conservative critics like Nigel Farage to argue it's an effort to shut down debate.
Many of the campaigners on the left are publicly saying that I should be arrested simply for asking to know the truth about the murderer.
The European Union already filed a lawsuit against X last month for failing to follow their social media laws. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
Okay, time to answer our trivia question that we asked earlier. We have a few more weeks of summer left. We've seen our fair share of 90 days, of course, but what is the average number of 90-degree days or higher that we see in Nashville per year? A, 37, B, 49, C55.
I'll be dramatic and say 55.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
I guess
Scott, what do you say?
49.
49. It is 49.
Well, I only said that because he took 49.
Right.
Well, there was room there in the middle. Come on. You know.
Just kidding. Couldn't copy him.
Did you see how diplomatic Katie was? Well, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
that's a good answer.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like it was way more than 55.
Well, you know what?
We didn't do the feels like
Yes, I'm a
temperature.
bad teacher because I forgot. I have a graphic that I was going to put in here. It's too late now. And I don't have the number on the top of my head, how many we've seen, but I know it is in the 40s. I think I want to say it's 43 or 44, so we're pretty close.
Well, you know, if this weather thing doesn't work out, I think you may have a future in the classroom. Science teacher.
Yes, you know, it is something I have thought about in the past, actually. It is.
There you go.
Very fun. I do like teaching. Yeah, that's right. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Let's start off with a look at the forecast for tomorrow morning here. We're looking at upper 60s with a mainly clear sky. We're going to be looking at mainly sunny skies for much of the day on Wednesday, and our shower chances remain pretty small. Temperatures stay in those 70s as well, so it'll be a warm start to the morning. I want to talk more about Ernesto here. The new advisory has come out, and we are looking at northwestern movement at 17 miles per hour. So Ernesto already here to the left continues to churn and producing winds in excess of 65 miles per hour. But notice that it is going to turn northward here as we head towards the end of the week. So it does continue to be no threat to the U.S. We will find some indirect impacts in the way of rip currents and wave heights along the east coast. But this will be for Bermuda. Folks in the Bermuda island here will really need to be paying attention to this. Could be a potential Category 3 hurricane, which would make it a major hurricane. That is forecast by Friday night. One of the reasons why it is going to steer away from the U.S. has a lot to do with the steering currents, and this is how hurricanes go where they go. A lot of this is going to be due to the edge of this high that is situated out in the Atlantic. It's kind of riding the edge of that high right now. We get toward the end of the week, and we're going to get some help from that cold front I was talking about earlier coming in on Friday. And so by the time we get into Friday and into the weekend, that front is going to help keep Ernesto out to sea and help push it and just let it ride this ridge here along the side. So again, right now Ernesto not a problem for us. Here, our upper level pattern, sticking with the theme this evening, we've got this high pressure over Texas, and as we go through Wednesday and then eventually into Thursday, that high begins to shift more east, which in turn is going to help keep Ernesto offshore, but it is also going to keep us quite toasty, I'm afraid. And as we head into the later part of the week, the humidity is going to be on the rise too. So we will get into that 100-degree heat index value as we head towards Thursday, Friday. We could be 100, maybe 105 in some spots towards the Tennessee River. But 90s will.
We'll take a look at this. The maker of Rice Krispies treats has a unique offer for families. The company just unveiled the new Retreat Suite.
Gosh, look at that. Decked out with Rice Krispie sheets, Rice Krispie curtains, pillows, paintings, and of course, there's some snacks in there on the right, that little bin. Now, it's located in a beach resort in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. You can book this suite free of charge, but you've got to act fast. The bookings opened yesterday, and like everything, first come, first served.
Oh, that iconic blue and white striped wrapper on the walls. I see what they did there.
Yum, yum.
Well, ending the headache, how the White House is making it easier to cancel subscriptions.
In Consumer News tonight, canceling those unwanted subscriptions could soon be quite a bit easier. The White House is proposing some new rules and regulations to simplify the process. Their plan also would make it easier to get refunds and resolve customer complaints. The Federal Trade Commission is finalizing what is known as Click to Cancel. The rules are meant to cover all subscriptions from streaming services to gym memberships.
Earlier in their newscast, we asked, would you use TDOT's choice lanes once they become available? Here are the standings on your screen right now. Almost 300 people weighing in tonight. 65% of those voting say that they would not be using the choice lanes. 35% say yes, they would. This poll's still live, so there is time to weigh in. You can scan the QR code there on your screen. It'll take you over to our X page, and our handle is @FoxNashville.
Money Management. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C. The course aimed at helping student athletes cash in on financial opportunities.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
I just appreciate her even reaching out, willing to assist me.
New tonight, the mother of a TSU football player killed in a hit-and-run crash is grateful for a Metro councilwoman who is working to improve the road where her son died.
Well, Metro police say that someone hit Chase Page while crossing Gallatin Road back in April and then took off. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live in East Nashville at the site of the crash with more on the calls for change.
Council member Emily Benedict tells me that she wants the city to narrow most or all of this street that you see right here behind me so people slow down. This is to prevent another death. She tells me Gallatin Pike between Hart Lane and Briley Parkway is one of the higher crash corridors in the city. She wants to also reduce the speed limit there and repave the road. So far, Metro Police say more than 900 calls have been made for car crashes with injuries over 2 years on Gallatin Pike. Some of those have been deadly, including one in July about 4 minutes near Walton Lane from where TSU football player Chase Page lost his life. Chase's mom, LaWanda, says improving that road is the first step.
It needs to happen, to reduce the speeding, not just on Gallatin Road, but on many of the roads throughout Nashville.
For Gallatin Pike to be improved, Councilwoman Benedict tells me there needs to be funding. We are waiting to find out if that funding will be possible. Reporting live here in East Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In the economy, your first look at choice lanes set to go in along I-24. The project would add 26 miles of paved lanes between Murfreesboro and Nashville. Well, construction would start in the year 2027 and would last about 5 years. The first phase of the plan would cost $2 billion and would use private money. While some are excited about the option to get from point A to point B quicker, others have concerns about changing costs.
There's lots of concerns with Tennesseans who fear that the private companies can just hike up the prices with heavy traffic. So how will that be controlled?
We dictate a minimum speed that must be maintained in the choice lanes. And so let's say that we have a 45 mile per hour minimum speed in the contract. They must raise prices such that that speed is maintained in those lanes.
Well, Brian Ledford with TDOT says the contract terms are still under development. Prices would rise if more cars are using those lanes. Well, earlier tonight we asked the question, would you choose to use TDOT's choice lanes once they become available? Again, as we just put the poll up here, not much has changed. Almost 300 people weighing in. 65% said no, they wouldn't. 35% said yes, they would. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in, and watch for a new QR code on your screen that you can scan with your phone.
Continuing coverage now on those choice lanes. Tennessee, of course, not the only state to use adjusted pricing for express lanes, if you want to refer to them that way. Several states along the East Coast do something similar. Drivers in Florida use their state's toll program. They call it the Sun Pass down there. You may have seen it when you were in Orlando. In Georgia, drivers can get where they need to go a little faster, accessing lanes with what they call the Peach Pass. I've seen that headed from Middle Tennessee down to Atlanta for baseball games. And North Carolina is what they call the I-77 Express Lane Pass. And the folks that use that are able to avoid some backed up highways into and out of Charlotte. All of these cases have prices that change based on how many people are using the express lane at any given time. Now, to stay up to date with the progress on the choice lanes in Tennessee, go to our website, fox17.com, or of course you can go to the YouTube channel and hit Fox Nashville to see all of our stories there 24/7.
Crisis in the classroom. An update on a family in Clarksville not happy with how the school was caring for their son. Jaden Doherty is deaf and has behavioral issues, and at one point the Montgomery County school system agreed to send him to a school in Pennsylvania that they said could better care for him. But the district changed its mind, saying Jaden was improving. A whistleblower telling Fox 17 News it's simply not true. The district would have paid around $260,000 to send Jaden to the Pennsylvania school.
It's extremely frustrating because I expected as educators to be honest about the child's education.
Wednesday on Fox 17 News at 9, find out how much the district pays out-of-state services for students and why the state will not step in.
Another warm day today. We did top off at 90 degrees, and it looks like the 90s are here to stay for a little bit as we move ahead. In fact, by Thursday, we'll be in the mid-90s. Should be right around 90 again for tomorrow after a mild evening. Things shaping up to be fairly quiet. Mostly cloudy with that temperature around 79 in Nashville here. I've been watching this little batch of showers coming in out of Missouri and into Arkansas. Not going to affect us as we head through the overnight. May a little bit of cloud cover, especially west of I-65, and that would be associated with this little batch of showers. But again, most of it is actually drying out before it reaches Tennessee. Low temperatures tonight here in Nashville around 67. Dickson at 67 degrees with Clarksville at 66. Low 60s for Crossville and Cookeville. As we head out the door early tomorrow morning, we'll be in those mid 60s to upper 60s, and we'll hover around there. Eventually climbing into the 80s and right around 90 for the afternoon, but should start the day with a mainly clear sky. We'll talk more about our rain chances that are on the rise, when you can expect the.
In national news, a spokesperson for former President Trump says that he and tech CEO Elon Musk broke the internet.
Fox 17 News' Brian Yenna sharing the highlights from Musk's live interview with Mr. Trump last night on X.
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech.
Like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation.
Just hours after former President Trump and Elon Musk praised one another for protecting free speech in a live-streamed conversation on X, the United Auto Workers Union, which endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, filed federal labor charges against the two. The union claiming Musk and Trump advocated for the illegal firing of striking workers.
You're the greatest cutter. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone, so every one of you is gone.
During the 2-hour chat, President Trump also laid out some policy proposals, including his desire to end the education department.
I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states.
The interview started more than 40 minutes late because of technical difficulties, which Musk claims were a result of a DDoS or distributed denial of service cyber attack. But critics are skeptical, pointing to the fact that the rest of X was working and last year's glitchy streamed conversation with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, which Trump called, quote, a disaster at the time. 1.3 million people were simultaneously watching the Trump-Musk conversation at one point as Trump criticized several Harris policies, including her recent messaging on the border crisis.
She's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now.
The Harris campaign firing back, quote, Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. Musk says that live conversation with Trump reached 1 billion impressions on the X platform. Musk, who endorsed Trump, says he was a moderate Democrat and he is encouraging other moderates to vote for Trump. He says Vice President Kamala Harris is too far left. He's invited Harris to have a similar live conversation on X soon. In New York City, Brian Yenna, Fox News.
Staying with politics, looking ahead as preparations are now underway for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, which will start a week from Monday night in Chicago, a week from last night. Crews began installing security perimeters around the United Center and McCormick Place on Sunday. Residents in Chicago are going to be impacted by traffic. It's going to be a lot heavier. They're closing streets up there, restricting parking during the 4-day event. Now, according to Axios, President Biden, presidential nominee Kamala Harris, and former President Barack Obama will all speak at the convention. The DNC again starts on Monday the 19th and will run through the 22nd.
Money management. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C.
Plain maker Boeing granted a $2.5 billion government contract to make 2 prototype aircrafts for the Air Force. The contract, awarded despite a slew of issues Boeing has been plagued with, including their faulty Starliner ship that has left 2 astronauts stuck in space for the past 2 months over safety concerns. From pinto beans to coffee beans, Starbucks chooses Chipotle's chief Brian Niccol as its next leader. The chain is looking to stir up its business and deal with activist investors. Niccol will start as CEO September 9th. Small business confidence rose in July to the highest level in nearly 2.5 years. The National Federation of Independent Business says its reading rose to 93.7, which is the highest since February of 2022. Businesses are still concerned about inflation, but fewer reported raising prices or wages. And more people around the world are buying electric cars. An industry report says global sales of fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles rose by 21% on an annual basis last month. The increase reflects China's strongest growth this year, despite dropping demand in Europe. In the U.S. and Canada, EV sales are up more than 7% in July. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Covering the economy tonight, money-making opportunities are quickly expanding for student athletes as more states, like Tennessee, allow them to profit from the use of their name, their image, and their likeness.
And as Fox 17 News' Angela Brown explains, there's a downside because some students are not prepared to manage that money.
Imagine signing a deal with Adidas in high school.
No longer a dream, but reality. Take Tyler Atkinson. Fox 5 Atlanta reporting he just inked an NIL deal. That's name, image, likeness with Adidas, and he's still in high school.
So you've got scholarships, you've got books, you've got name, image, likeness, and now you have revenue sharing.
Brent Richard is the CEO of IMG Academy that provides growth opportunities for student athletes, which includes financial literacy.
And so it's really education in this environment where there's a financial opportunity in college in particular that is bigger and faster than it's been historically.
IMG Academy is now working with Merrill Wealth Management to build a financial curriculum. As more student athletes make money off NIL, we talked to Greg Magali, the head of Merrill Private Wealth Management, about what those courses could offer.
In its basic form, it comes down to things like spending and savings education and education around investing, education around like their earnings and how to pay taxes.
Florida just became the 36th state to permit NIL compensation at the high school level. Other states like North Carolina are considering it.
I think it's a great thing because it helps the kids and their families, the ones who need it.
Not only did the Florida High School Athletic Association allow students to make money off NIL, the CBS News is reporting the board also agreed to allow high school athletes to hire agents to assist them. So this is becoming big business for some student athletes 18 and under. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
Fox 17 giving you an opportunity to win tickets for the Music City Brewers Festival coming up in a couple of weekends, August the 24th, downtown at Walk of Fame Park. Proceeds will benefit the Nashville Humane Association. You can scan the QR code there on the left-hand side of your screen, or you can go to fox17.com/contest to enter for a chance to win. You do have to be 21 years or older. Message and data rates, as they say, may apply.
All right, Katie, how's it looking out there?
It's mild tonight. It's not going to be too bad tomorrow. We had 90 today, by the way.
I didn't think we did. And somehow it didn't seem quite that hot.
We came off a stretch of some really nice days.
Yeah, that's
so maybe
part of
that's
it.
why it wasn't.
It wasn't too bad.
Too bad to manage.
Started slow.
Humidity
Ended
was,
nice.
we'll call it tolerable, right?
Yeah.
So that's going away. It's getting worse. The humidity will be coming back as we head towards Thursday and Friday. At least it'll feel more sticky than what it's been feeling like as we go into the late part of the work week. Pretty shot here from our Nissan Stadium camera. But we do look at another warm day for tomorrow. We should be right around 90, which is average for this time of year. Heating up as we head towards Thursday, our temperature expected in the mid-90s, and that's where we could see some heat index values as high as 100 to 105. 105 will be a little bit more towards the Tennessee River. And looking for our next rain chance. So some pop-up pop-up showers possible for Wednesday and Thursday, but late Thursday night into Friday is going to be that next good chance for rain along a cold front here, and that'll continue through Saturday. The potential for a few showers and thunderstorms will be around as well, and then tapering off as we head into Sunday. So Wednesday right around 81 at 10 o'clock. We're up to about 88 as we head into the afternoon. Mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies throughout the day, and we'll hover in those upper 80s for the remainder of the afternoon hours. Our muggy meter going up, unfortunately, here. A bit humid for tomorrow. Really won't be feeling too bad. We'll call it tolerable for tomorrow too. Back to muggy conditions for Thursday and Friday and Saturday in that oppressive category. Again, talking about highs in the mid-90s with heat index values looking to be in the 100 to 105 range, and that'll continue into Friday as well. Given the chance for showers and storms, we may get a brief cool down on Friday if you see the rain around, but nonetheless, it'll just be feeling a little more uncomfortable, hot and humid out there. A couple showers possible as we head through the morning hours to the west. Stay dry, I think, and that'll be the story as we go through Wednesday afternoon and into Wednesday evening here, looking at just a spot shower. We'll start the day with mainly clear skies on Thursday morning. As we get into the afternoon, a little bit more cloud cover building in, and that'll set the stage for our shower chance coming in on Friday. Overall, highs around the area here, upper 80s for Columbia, Lewisburg, Nashville sitting at 90 degrees. Clarksville will be around 87. With Murfreesboro right around 88 for the afternoon hours. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll be looking at temperatures at 94 for Thursday, 92 for Friday, Saturday looking to be in the 90s as well. Best chance for rain again will be along that front for Friday, and some scattered showers possible going into Saturday as well. Right now, I would say the Titans game on Saturday looking to be mainly dry. We may see a few pop-up showers and storms the first part of the game beginning at 6 o'clock, but should dry out as we go into the evening.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Severe thunderstorms rolled into Utah on Monday. Not only did they bring this incredible hailstorm, there was plenty of rain. It was the wettest day Salt Lake City had seen in 3 months. After the storms, these massive mammatus clouds rolled through. Cold air sinks down to form those pouches on the bottoms of the clouds.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
You can see more weather stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk starting at 8 a.m.
New tonight, the White House announcing a handful of policies aimed at making it easier to cancel subscriptions and memberships.
Could be big news. As Fox 17 News' Jeff Harris reports, these rules could impact anybody who uses a streaming service, has a gym membership, or owns a smartphone.
The goal by the Biden administration is really to equal the playing field for a large portion of Americans. If these rules take effect, some cancellation fees could go away, and the days of calling someone physically on the phone to cancel disappear.
Canceling subscriptions should be just as easy as signing up. A rule Daniel McCarthy, a marketing professor at Emory University, tells us was just proposed by the Biden administration.
Where it's pretty easy to sign up. You can go to a website, for example, and sign up. But then if you wanted to cancel, you can't use the website.
Through the FTC and the FCC, the rule would require companies to make signing up and canceling the same, which for some companies isn't the case right now.
They make it a lot more difficult to leave than to start.
McCarthy says whether it's a gym membership or streaming service, the reason some companies make canceling more difficult is to generate added revenue.
Someone doesn't want the service anymore, but because of all the hoops that they have to go through to cancel, that the company ends up getting an extra subscription payment or 2 or 6.
According to Forbes, 99% of U.S. households pay for at least one streaming service. But Chad Ruback, an appellate attorney, tells us those customers shouldn't expect these rules to be rolled out anytime soon.
A company that sells you this streaming subscription, a company that sells you your gym subscription, is likely to challenge this in a court.
And Ruback says there's a chance they don't take effect at all.
Just because a rule has been promulgated by a federal agency doesn't mean that rule is going to stick.
Now, along with streaming services and gym memberships, the rules would also apply to phone and internet companies, along with health insurance companies as well, allowing claims to be submitted online rather than only by mail. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
Ray and Kathy Stella have been married 66 years. I'm Liz Bonus. Up next, they take us on a very personal journey for Kathy's memory care.
A new study shows it may take more than just a rinse to clean the pesticides off of your produce. We're going to tell you what researchers say you should do instead of just rinsing them off. That's coming up Wednesday on Fox 17.
In health news tonight, a family thankful to have recently found memory care support for their mom, and now they're doing what they can to spread the news.
Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus shows us that they want other families to know they're not alone.
Hey there, everybody. Ray and Kathy Stella have been married 66 years, and recently when Kathy's memory began to fade, her family knew they needed help.
Hi, baby.
They found that help here at Ohio's life-enriching communities, Twin Lakes.
After you made the adjustment, it's the best place for us, no question about it. We feel very safe, very comfortable. We don't have to jump in a car and go here and go there. And medical-wise, Lisa, Jacqueline, our nurse, has been fantastic.
Kathy's now able to have her own room in the memory care unit here. Ray is able to live on the same campus, but in another part of the building. You see, Ray, who won the fishing competition here recently, could no longer care for Kathy on his own.
I think that when they see their loved one is well cared for and that they're safe and that they can go from being the caregiver to the husband again, that's a really important thing.
Ray and his children and grandchildren say they're grateful they found a place that is right for their mother and grandmother. And Ray, too.
There's activities here, they have speakers here, they have concerts, everything. It's like my sister and I often talk about we're jealous of everything that's happening here. And so they're living the best life.
Lisa Zimmers, the executive director here, told me when it comes to memory care, one size does not fit all. One of the reasons that this isn't talked about much is there's such a stigma. What do we do to try to change that?
It's unfortunate because it is part of life. Not everyone will experience it personally, but they likely know someone.
And if you do know someone, Ray and his family want you to know it's okay to ask for help.
As we go along our life's journey, we're going to need some attention, and they're giving it to us right now.
Now, Ray and his family also say their mom's care team helping them to know how to continue to communicate with Kathy as memory loss progresses. We are grateful to them for sharing a very personal journey with us. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Well, facilities like this often cost several $1,000s a month. Some accept Medicare, but some do not. Kathy Stella's family says if a place isn't affordable for you, just keep asking for referrals until you find something that works.
All right, get us all ready for tomorrow, Katie.
Mild tomorrow morning. Not too bad. It'll be slightly more humid. We'll look at a high right around
between just